still have a quiet moment in the lounge, so I'm going to post another video. And this one is about the custom pre over there. I don't know, you might recognise those chassis. They're actually speaker cabinets. But so that was something I cooked up for, because there was a need that I had that I couldn't fulfill. So the combination that I love the most on those amps and on most of the tube monoblocks is the little VTL Deluxe that I talked about in one of the other posts. I really love how that sounds. I think it's just a absolutely superb piece of equipment. And I love that you can bypass the final stage, so you've got this real just purity of a single pair of tubes driving the power amps, and a really, really simple circuit. And I'm sure that's part of why they sound so good. But so were it not for the fact that it didn't have a remote control, it would for sure be in that system right now. But having a decent having a remote control for volume, at least volume, if not the inputs, is a must for me. I can't sit here in my lounge and have to get up each time that I want to adjust the volume. So I was trying to work out a solution to that, and really trying to find a piece of equipment that was fit for my purpose, which was really as few inputs as possible, as little tech in there as possible, but with the remote control and obviously with a set of tubes. And a while back I bought a custom tube pre, which pretty much fitted that bill with the exception of the remote. And I thought, well, let's have a go at that. Let's see what I can do. So I tried to unsuccessfully to retrofit a remote control volume in there, and I had awful problems with interference and hum that was being introduced, and I just couldn't work it out. So in the end, I went out looking for a passive pre with a remote control volume, and I found that lovely Icon Audio, and I'll show you that more clearly. And that was great. So that became sort of the idea of, okay, well, I've got this pre that I love and I love the sound of, and I now have this passive pre with the remote control that I really wanted, and how am I going to marry them together? So that custom pre I basically tore to pieces and removed anything that was getting in the way. So the mute switches, balance control pots, input selectors, that was all gone. The only thing that remains in there is the basic circuitry and the volume pot. And the volume pot I've actually set up on and again I'll show you in a minute, just on a little screwdriver adjustment, so that I can set that volume, and then for the rest of it I'm using the passive pre. So that's how it all came about, really. And while I was at it, I removed the power supply from that pre and packaged it in its own package, and it works brilliantly and it's delightful. I was sort of the hesitation around doing that was adding another set of interconnects and adding another component into the system. That's not my thing. I don't like doing it, but I think I've done this in the simplest way possible with a really good set of interconnects, so I'm really happy. So let's just have a little look at this thing. Well, I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to take them all to pieces for you, but this is what's left over basically. So in here is the volume pot, and the signal circuitry, and like I said, it is brutally simple. There's only like 3 components in there, and you just got the inputs and the outputs, and then the umbilical for the power supply. So all of the power requirements are now in here, and then you've got this lovely little passive pre, and this is absolutely delightful. It's got just a few inputs. I like that so obviously it's line stage, it's got nothing in there, but I like that it's giving you a label for a phono stage, which I use. There's a mono stereo, I don't use that, and then the tape bypass as well. Okay, so there's a couple of extra things there that I don't use, but this was about as close as it gets. Inside it is so unbelievably simple. It's just put together with really high quality components, and that's it. And they're even, let me show you this. So where is the remote control? Should be able to see it. It's bloody big enough. There it is. So my quest for nice remote controls to use, and when I picked this up, well, I bought this secondhand from eBay, and I saw the photographs and I thought, this is it, this is the one. When it turned up, I thought, well, yeah, it's kind of on the chunky side, but it's this really cool sort of anodized brushed aluminium, and these lovely little buttons. And then I pressed the buttons for the first time, and that sound is just awful. I've actually opened it up and stuffed damping in there to try and sort of tone down this terrible sound of the buttons. I think the one redeeming feature is actually these buttons are ball bearings. They're steel ball bearings, which is quite good fun. So I'm going to persevere with this. I'm going to chuck some more damping in there or something just to quieten that sound down, because it's just got that horrific, yeah, not nice at all. But for the rest of it, it's beautifully made. There's a really nice feature on this. So instead of having a mute circuit, what they've done is hooked up the mute button to the volume pot. So you press the mute and it actually turns the volume down rather than using a mute circuit. So it's like even simpler inside from that point of view. Also, when you turn it off, so if there's a power failure, as it comes on, it turns the volume all the way down, and then it comes back up to about 9 o'clock or something. So yeah, I'm absolutely stoked with it. It really fits beautifully with my concept of using the tube pre like that, and then having this nice simple passive pre with just the right amount of inputs and functionality, and thank heavens a remote control, and one, although it sounds awful to use, at least it is reasonably nice to look at and to hold. Anyway, that'll do for now. All right, cheers.